Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon, Flight boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. And right now, I want to get into the Royal Fixed Star travels. You know what I'm saying? So we can get a clear understanding. Now, for the most part, if you are familiar with astrology, then you know the Royal Fixed Stars controls our winter and summer solstice and our spring and fall equinoxes. Now, for the most part, the four royal fixed stars is what controls our actual structure of time in general, because anything that's beyond the measures of our four royal fixed stars will be beyond the measures of our ecliptic, and beyond the measures of our ecliptic will be other constellations, other bodies, other beings that we are not in as life or the blood cells within a being. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, when you want to talk about the four royal fixed stars, they construct our space or our being that we are in, right? Now, when we got each space, you know each space is correlated to a fixed star. Now, for the most part, when we got the highest fixed star, we got the fixed star Regulus. Now, the fixed star Regulus will be the manifestation of the Archangel Raphael, right? Then we go to the Watcher of the West. So that'd be the Watcher of like the North. Now, the Watcher of the West. The Watcher of the West will be the fixed star Antares, which is the manifestation of the Archangel Uriel. You see what I'm saying? And y'all know, if y'all familiar with astrology, y'all know that I call myself the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel. And y'all know why I call myself that. So that'd be the Watcher of the West, which is correlated to fall. So it controls the whole space that we go through when we're experiencing the energy of fall. So the fallen, all the religion you got from it, all the literal perspective you got from it, the physical perspective you got from it, of the actual you experiencing the season of fall and all that. Now, we go to the Watcher of the South. This will be the fixed star Fomalhaut, which is actually the manifestation of the Archangel Gabriel. Now, this represents the Watcher of the South. So this is where you get the space that we go through, where you get the time of winter, death, transformation, you know what I'm saying, and something being springed off again onto where we get the Watcher of the East. Now, the Watcher of the East is the fixed star Aldebaran. Now, this is the physical manifestation of Archangel Michael. So everything that's born and accumulated and came from that space, all the stars and all the stars that then got accumulated out of the vortexes and things out of that space, come from that energy within the body we are in. So any type of outer constellation information we get, it'll get filtered through Aldebaran first, which is Archangel Michael, and then any being or star that's accumulated from that information is carrying out the duties and obligations of the Archangel Michael. This is why a lot of people who got religious Christian debates, who, you know, it's a little argument in Christianity that Jesus was actually the Archangel Michael. That's where that comes from. But the people who's arguing this don't actually know how to argue it. But this is what they're actually trying to say. Jesus is the sun star right here, and that sun star comes from the far east, and all the stars that's accumulated that came from the east is under our space of the fixed star, the fixed star Aldebaran, which is the physical manifestation of the Archangel Michael. You see what I'm saying? Now, all right. Now, when we get into this stuff, I actually want to tell you the travels of these things, right? So it's a travel that's actually going on. So if you're familiar with fixed stars and you're familiar with degrees, then you understand that the fixed stars, since the distance from us and these fixed stars is the distance that it is, like far away, then it takes the fixed stars, based upon our perspective, 72 years to move 1 degree. Now, like I said, just because something is a fixed star don't mean the star is fixed. It's just we're so far away that it appears to be fixed, but everything is moving. The further you're away, the slower something appears to be moving. You can see these representations on Earth. When you look at an airplane, the airplane from you being on the ground appeared to be moving slow. But if you was on the airplane, you would know how many miles that the airplane is actually flying. So take that same perspective and do it with the stars. Now, for the most part, when you're talking about the fixed royal stars, they move 1 degree every 72 years, right? So for the most part, how we even know where spring and Aries and everything started, right? We calculated it from the closest star to us. Now, the closest star from us came from the east. So we're calculating each other star, filtering through that star. Like, to get from one star, you got to get to another star. to go through that star. It's like a conscious thing. For us to understand the next star, we got to understand this star. Then that star consciousness will lead us to that star. So you see, since that was the closest star in the sun that was bringing life to us, or death and transformation to us, this was the first conscious level we tapped into to tap us into other conscious level. But people get lost into this one conscious level, but that's another story. But for the most part, when we want to talk about things coming off and things moving as far as degree matters, now we got a situation where the fixed star Aldebaran started in 0 degrees Aries. The fixed star Regulus, which is the manifestation of Archangel Raphael, started off in 0 degrees Cancer. The fixed star Antares, which is me, the physical manifestation of Archangel Uriel, started off in 0 degrees Libra. And Gabriel, which is the fixed star Fomalhaut, started off in 0 degrees Capricorn. So they all started off in the cardinal signs. Now, think about it like this. This will be the birth of the being that we are in. So this will be the birth of a person, right? Now, this person is getting older. Now, think about it like, so to calculate how old this being is, we have to calculate it from the fixed star, which is, if the fixed stars is calculating our space, it's actually calculating our being space that we are in and its astral travel. You get what I'm trying to say? So to know how old the being we are in is, we have to understand the motherfucking fixed stars. So for the most part, now, since it started off in 0 degrees of the cardinal signs, where are the 4 royal fixed stars at now? Now, if you are into astrology and you was born into this realm of reality of emitting lights now, you know where the fixed star is at now. You know that the fixed star Aldebaran, which is Archangel Michael, is in 9 degrees Gemini right now. We know Regulus is in 29 degrees Leo. We know Gabriel is in 3 degrees Pisces. We know Archangel Uriel, which is Antares, is in 9 degrees Sagittarius right now. So for the most part, this is telling you something. This is telling you that how long it's been living. And if it started in the cardinal signs, it's all the way in the mutable signs right now, right? You staying with me? So now that it's all the way in the mutable signs, you can kind of calculate how old this being is. Now, check it out like this. Everybody come in this fashion of a form of 3. So this is how we get the modalities of cardinal, fixed, mutable. So this is a lifespan, right? Cardinal, boom, you initiate yourself into life. That's like being birthed. That's the element, that's the energy of the element before you see it in this reality. Then once it's birthed, now you see it sustain itself in this reality. That's when it comes to fixed. So now you get the fixed energy. And now once you get old and have wisdom and you're getting ready to transform, boom, that's the mutable energy. So now you got that concept. Now you can kind of understand what's going on with the being that we're in. And we're as blood cells within that being. Since it's in immutable, it's old. It's getting old. It's getting ready to live out his last life. It's losing power. A lot of the blood cells in there, inside of it, is having ideas from other concepts and other beings that is getting ready to get birthed into. So the being that we is in is losing power in all shapes and forms of concepts. So if you look at religion, spiritualities, concepts, ideas, whatever system you see on earth that start to appear to look like it's getting outdated, that's because the conscious being that we are in is getting old and getting outdated, and this being is getting ready to transform, and all of us as blood cells within it need to find some way in shape and form to go into another body. And a lot of y'all just attaching yourself to this kind of being's idea, so when this being die, you end up going where it's going and you stay attached to its travels. You see what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's in the mutable signs right now. So based upon the royal fixed star astral travel, think about it. If Antares is in 9 degrees Sagittarius, which makes Archangel Michael in 9 degrees Gemini, and you know where Regulus and Fomalhaut at 29 degrees Leo and 3 degrees Pisces, right? I mean 29 degrees Leo and 3 degrees Pisces where Fomalhaut at, then this lets you know how much time is left from this being that we are in. So since the fixed stars take 72 years to move 1 degree, then we know it's 30 degrees in every sign. So since it's in immutable right now, and since it's in 9 degrees, we got about 21 years left overall. So that'd be, for the most part, in our life, we'll look at that as, let's say, 20 years to us. So if it moves 72 degrees, that'd be 72 times 2. 72 times 20. That'd be 72 times 20. So 72 times 20 is, 1440. So If I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm close though. I'm pretty close. But 72 times 20 should be around 1400. 1420, 1440, or 1460. Now, for the most part, that's how many years from our perspective that this being has yet to live. Because in these 1400 years, it would have moved through the rest of the mutable sign. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, regular's getting ready to move through Virgo. You know what I'm saying? Gabrielle, which is former Halt, is about to finish up in Pisces. Me, Uriel, I'm about to finish up in Sagittarius. And because we created these energies. And motherfucking former Halt, which is Archangel Michael, is about to finish up Gemini. Then once they get to the cardinal sign, that's a new life. That's a new being. Let me turn off the oven from these corn dogs for my daughter. Alright, almost done. Well, they done. I just turned it off. You know what I'm saying? So, for the most part, yeah, there's going to be a new life. So it's going to be a whole new different shift, whole new different existence. So for an example, this is why when it's springtime, right, it still feel like wintertime. And y'all like, damn, it's supposed to be springtime. That's because the royal fixed star isn't in the spring presence anymore. It's more in the mutable presence. So as that light get filtered to us, we get that realm reality through the other lesser lights, through the filtering. Then once it reach our solar system and reach our filtering and shit like that, then we get the aspects late. Just like we get light late. So you would get spring late because the energy that spring came from is no longer in that same space. So since in the space we're in, we're still getting late light, it's still going to be late to us. So even though the fixed star Aldebaran is in Gemini right now, we still getting that late light. So we'll still get spring around Taurus time, like Mayish, like the end of April, and then like Mayish. That's when we really get the effects of spring. But if you go by the calendars based upon the space and location we in, they still correlate spring to starting at the beginning, or I mean in the middle of March or March 20th or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you feel the transition. Same way it could be, it's getting ready to be fall. You be like, damn, it's still hot as hell. Same way as in wintertime. You like, damn, we're going to have a long winter because it's still warm outside. No, it's not that. It's just the fixed star Regulus, the space that is in right now, we're getting a late light. You're getting a light late. You know what I'm saying? So summer come late. You know what I'm saying? And by the time it automatically transform, y'all going to see a true transition. So what y'all think spring to be, what y'all think like after this 1400 years, after what y'all quote unquote think spring is, that's going to be on the date of what y'all call where Gemini start, or where Gemini start, or late May, early June. That's when y'all really that's when y'all really going to start to get spring 1400 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Spring gonna be around where y'all call summer at right now. Summer gonna be around where y'all call fall at right now. Fall gonna be around where y'all call winter at right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's really not about changing the calendar based upon our perspective, because that's actually right. What it is just understanding these royal fixed stars and how they're moving, so we can understand the seasons, and then we know how to separate time from our seasons. You know what I'm saying? And not get lost into thinking that these stars control the time. Well, it control the time, but you see, here's what's actually going on right here. We end up thinking that we need to follow these lost stars. No, we just need to see where they're going so we can know where the influence is at. But we still need to calculate our space, because if we get lost in that, we'll end up not having no calendar. And then y'all won't have no structure. And y'all won't have no pattern. Then y'all really be in a situation where y'all really have to lean and depend on these stars. And if y'all really following a lost star, everybody really going to be following just lost ways. You see what I'm saying? So we still need to structure a system, because they got a system. So we need a system above ourselves the same way they got a system above themselves. So we're just mimicking shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit, none of this shit is unfamiliar. This is why your spirit is already doing it. Like, for an example, man developed the consciousness to tear down a tree and build a house. Your spirit ain't doing nothing it's unfamiliar with. It's just doing whatever it has to do to sustain itself through that astral travel. Next, we're trying to create stronger mental bodies and stronger other shit to sustain the next astral travel. Because the next astral travel may not have nothing to do with these kind of buildings or this kind of land or this kind of farm or this kind of forest. You see what I'm saying? It might be something totally different. But when we talk about the fixed stars, the energies in each space is going to be different. So with y'all, so for an example, say scientists is still harboring over when spring start. Spring is going to look different. It's not even going to be really spring, winter, fall, summer. It's going to be something totally different for a 4th season. Like the season is going to be way different. It's going to be a different religion. It's going to be different things made up. Soon as these royal fixed stars get into the cardinal sign, if a lot of y'all haven't risen in consciousness enough on y'all spirit to take another shape and form, and y'all still in this spiral rotation, then y'all ain't going to do nothing but experience this realm again, just in another shape and form. But that's what this video is for the people who still gonna be here 1400 years later. But this information is really for like the fishes and the animals and those spirits who finna take your body that you got now. You should have passed on and went somewhere else. If you still here creating similar bodies that's gonna be similar like this, your ass is stupid spiritually. But for the most part, this shit should be transformed and transmuted for lesser spirits, aka the spirits that's in animals and bugs and shit, so they can take and transform and evolve these and give these tails and or give these some other kind of shit. And this for them. This vehicle for them. Once this going to the ground and transforming shit, this for them. So you're gonna have another person here using your vehicle that was a motherfucking bug or animal or something like that. Your spirit's supposed to move on to somewhere else. That's what my channel is about. But I'm just giving you an early heads up. I'm giving you a 1400 year heads up. The being that we are in is about to die 1400 years from now. Because it has lived this cardinal life. It has been born. It has lived its best life, which is its fixed life, and it's almost halfway through its mutable life. So it's up in age right now. It should be retiring right now. Whatever this being is doing, it should be getting ready to relax, sit back, and just have things to relax on, so it don't be adding all this emotional hard wear and tear onto its solar system, its soul. You know what I'm saying? Because we get affected by that. You know, so the better we know how to come together and be harmonious, the better this being that we in feel smarter and feel harmonious and compassion. The more ugly we feel, the more lost we feel. The being that we in feel lost, feel like it doesn't know what's going on. So we have to make sense amongst each other, and therefore the being that we in will be able to make sense on its decisions and know how to die properly. So we don't share any influences on effect of thinking that this is how we supposed to die, and we still end up being on the concept of following a lost star. You see what I'm saying? So you got to really dive deep into this shit. So when we talk about the royal fixed stars, this is telling you the age of the being that we are in at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And right now it's getting older in age. The royal fixed stars is in the mutable signs. So this is giving you this is how we can calculate it from our space, because we're so small. This is the science that we have to come up with to understand these things. So for the most part, after the royal fixed stars get into the cardinal signs, which they're getting ready to do, this is a new life, a new being, a new spirit is going to take this whole body and be able to walk amongst the realm of reality it's in. And you as a smaller being, you don't want to get stuck in this being's rotation, no matter the level of life. You want to be here to add enough information on your spirit so you can attain yourself also and be amongst these things, because you wouldn't be here today if you wasn't trying to do that. So any type of blockages or hindering you put on, or limitations you put on yourself, that's hindering on your spirit. Because if that's the case, if you've been always doing that, you wouldn't have got to this state today. So don't let the shapes and forms in this reality today create limitations and blockages on your spirit, because your spirit wouldn't be created this much layers and had a body to go into to be at this moment now. So don't stop now. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop now. Don't look at don't look at reality like it's harsh now, like it's something you don't want to do now. Oh, you don't want to become a planet now. You don't want to become a star now. Well, your ass shouldn't even became a human. So don't take the illusion and blind yourself into what this illusion mean. Know what you're doing so you could jump rope effectively. You see what I'm saying? Now, and that's getting into the royal fixed star travel. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.